Good morning, my dear children. Welcome you all to General Knowledge class. Today we are going to study the 22nd chapter. The name of the chapter is The Joy of Reading. Identify these golden classics from their descriptions. Look at this picture, children. It is the picture of a story from a classic book. You have to identify the classic, from which book it is shown. This book is about a young boy and his escapades. He lives in a small town along the Mississippi River with his aunt Polly, half-brother Sid, and cousin Mary. He is always getting into trouble, and though he gets frequent spankings from his aunt, he manages to win her over with his wit and charm. Do you know, children, which book is this? Yes, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Right there, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Alonso Quesada is obsessed with the legends of knights errant who rush off to kill dragons, rescue princesses, and earn the eternal gratitude of the king and the people. He decides to become a knight-errant himself and embarks on adventures with his squire Sancho Panza, a dim-witted village peasant. Now, this is the picture from the book. Do you know, children? It is Don Quixote. Don Quixote. Now, third one, Prince Rudolph, the rightful heir of Ruritania, is abducted by his ambitious half-brother on the eve of his coronation so that he cannot attend the ceremony. While the prince is kept imprisoned in a castle, an Englishman on a holiday who bears a strong resemblance to him is made to take his place at the coronation. This description is from the classic book, The Prisoner of Center. The Prisoner of Center. Now look at this picture. It's about a little boy who grows up in a workhouse run by the cruel Mr. Bumble. He has a miserable childhood. He is underfed, ill-treated, and overworked. He manages to escape to the streets of London, where he meets Fagin and his band of young pickpockets. In return for food and shelter, he is trained in the art of picking pockets. This is from the book Oliver Twist. This is the story of a young girl, Dorothy, and her pet dog, Toto. They are swept away from their home by a cyclone. They find themselves in the magical land of Oz and have wonderful adventures with the Scarecrow, the Tin Woodman, and the Cowardly Lion. This is from the classic book, The Wizard of Oz. D'Artagnan and his friends, Athos, Porthos, and Aramis, are part of the French king's royal guard. They are sent on a secret mission to England to recover diamonds belonging to Queen Anne of France. So, this description is from the classic book. Do you know, children? This is Three Musketeers. Now the next chapter is Lesson 23, Newspapers. As you know, newspapers are an important source of information and entertainment, featuring topics such as what all we get from newspapers. We can learn we will know about current events, science, politics, arts, crime, and sport. Isn't it, children? So here is how the newspaper is created. The reporters and correspondents from across the country and world gather news and submit their reports to the city editor within a deadline. So this is the first step. After that, what is the second step? The new features are then edited by a team of sub-editors. The editor takes an overall look at the news stories. The edited stories what are they done? They are categorized to be used for various pages such as city, nation, sports, and cinema. Now the next step is these pages are laid out on the computer with the text, pictures, and graphics. A prototype of the printed page is then created. The plate presses the image of the page onto a rubber cylinder, which in turn presses it onto the paper that runs through the press. The large sheets of printed newsprint move onto a machine called the folder, where the pages are cut individually and folded in order. The papers are then stacked into bundles and loaded onto delivery trucks for distribution. This is how the newspaper is created. Understood, children? Now we will move on to lesson 24, that is Voyage of Discovery. In this chapter, we will learn about some explorers. These explorers, they were driven by the spirit of adventure and they have overcome various obstacles. Why they overcome various obstacles? To discover new places. So we will learn about some explorers. The first one is Ferdinand Magellan. He was a Portuguese explorer and he led the first expedition that circumnavigated the globe. Next you can see the picture of the explorer Dr. David Livingstone. Dr. David Livingstone, he was a Scottish missionary. His exploration of Africa led to the discovery of the Victoria Falls in 1855, which he named after the ruling British Queen. Now children, this is the picture of Captain James Cook. He was a British navigator who discovered the Hawaii Islands. So who discovered Hawaii Islands? Captain James Cook. He was the first to establish an English settlement in Australia. Now this is the picture of Roald Amundsen. He was a great Norwegian explorer. He led the expedition that was the first to reach the South Pole on 14 December 1911. So who was the first to reach the South Pole on 14 December 1911? Yes, Roald Amundsen. Now this is the picture of an American explorer, Robert Peary. He is considered as the first person to reach the geographic North Pole on 6th April 1909. So the first to reach South Pole is Roald Amundsen and the first to reach the geographic North Pole is Robert Peary. Now this is the picture of Portuguese explorer Bartolomeu Dias. He was the first European to sail around the Cape of Good Hope in Africa in 1488, thus opening the sea route to Asia via the Indian Ocean. Okay children, we studied about the explorers Ferdinand Magellan, David Livingstone, Captain James Cook, Roald Amundsen, Robert Peary and Bartolomeu Dias. Who is Ferdinand Magellan? He led the first expedition that circumnavigated the globe. And David Livingstone, he led to the discovery of Victoria Falls. Captain James Cook, he was the first to establish English settlement in Australia. Roald Amundsen, he was the first to reach South Pole on 14 December 1911. Robert Peary, he was the first to reach the geographic North Pole on 6th April 1909. Bartolomeu Dias, he was the first to sail around the Cape of Good Hope in Africa, thus opening the sea route to Asia via Indian Ocean. Hope you all have understood about the explorers. With this, we come to the end of today's class. Thank you, children.